Hi, my name's Dylan Reyes Cairo. I'm a security officer. I'm one of the lieutenants that has been working here at Mizner Country Club for the past few years on the Mizner Security Team with Gordon Llewelyn. In our efforts here at Mizner Country Club, a lot of times we come across animals that might be in distress or might be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And with all the people moving around and things like that, obviously it's a concern. I'll give you an example. I had a turtle that was just outside on a sidewalk recently, and I found that it had a plastic band wrapped around its shell that it had crawled into when it was small enough and got snagged there, and as it continued to move around, that stayed around its waist or around the back of the shell. And when I found it, it must have been months or years later, because that shell was already beginning to conform to the plastic that was wrapped around it. I was able to snip the plastic off and return that turtle to a lake. Those are some of the many things that we could potentially find here on our property. And it matters to me that we're sort of one with nature in whatever regard we can. Obviously, we've got our agendas and they've got theirs. The big deal being, I think, that a lot of times, because we've got these developments, we sometimes push out the wildlife or think we're going to, and it's very difficult to convince the wildlife that they got to go while we get to stay. So rather than try to do that, we try to coexist, and we make sure that whenever we see an animal that's in distress or needs a little bit of assistance, we find the right people to be involved in that. So depending on what we find, for example, when we had our peacock here a while back and it was in distress, I had to take it to bush because they'll do non-indigenous species. Other animals that we found, including a screech owl, an adult screech owl that was outside in the middle of the day. So I just went down there and wrapped it up, and we took care of that one. They brought it back the next day, I believe, and left it back nearby where it was. And then the recent owl that we have now, which is it's not a screech owl, it's a horned owl. And that's been down there for a few weeks, and we've been helping it too. So we've got a lot of assistance from people that really are knowledgeable, and all we have to do is plug them into getting to the right place and helping out these animals. So I'm really proud to be in a position where I can assist. I mean, I have residents that are very concerned also, and they always call us up and they're looking for help, but they're looking for help for these animals. And it's a very unique situation for me to be in, to be able to respond to these calls and make sure that not only the residents are comfortable with the fact that we're taking care of the wildlife around here, but also the animals themselves. I feel like some of them even get to know us a little bit. So it's a very nice perk to this job.
Hey Katie, how's it going? So I heard you were in there talking to Dylan about the wildlife rescues. We've probably rescued in the last year at least a half dozen to 10 animals in here. I remember 2 owls, a falcon, several turtles, as well as the wildlife that just lives here. The otters, the alligators, the storks, the cranes, the eagles, and so forth. So we've been working closely with Adam Jalowick's crew in Gulf Maintenance to foster the Audubon effort here within Mizner. And it's amazing how much wildlife is actually within Mizner and the beautiful preserve that it is. So we think Delray and the Boca Metro is a fabulous place to live, and we encourage new potential residents to come and see the wildlife that exists within Mizner Country Club.